Hey YouTube, there is 2 weeks left in the season, so thankfully on top of Catch Cup, there's every single league, Great League, Ultimate League, Master League. So we're going to look over the top Great League teams, a lot of good teams that people have hit Legend with, I've grinded some like 400 ELO with some teams. So we're going to look at those. For that, quickly look, not a word of warning, but a lot of the teams you're going to see, I've got 9 teams, very, very similar team comps in Pokemon. And unfortunately, that's just the state of Great League right now, where you're going to see a lot of Annihilape, Mantine, Gligar, Azumarill, all these Pokemon in the top like 15. Now, on some of my teams, I have like Sableye, which is ranked 68th. I run a Defense Deoxys, which is 69. Dugong's at 85 there. So there's definitely Pokemon that you can use that as lower. But just be aware that the majority of the teams are sort of congregated in the top here. And that's just the way the meta has been for the last couple seasons now, right? Again, there's 3 things. If you're new to this channel, there's 3 things that make a Pokemon strong and greatly, and just at GBL in general. Their stat product, their typing, and their moveset. And right now you have certain Pokemon that are just super, super strong based on 2 to 3 of those combos, right? So like Annihilape. Annihilape just came in when it was the best fighter immediately. And it's not because it's got any groundbreaking stats. In fact, in the stat product, it's 1800 overall stat product. It's actually quite low that you want to say in the Great League. It's got okay stamina here and like a decent attack, but it's just like this move set with counter, the best fast move in the game, getting stab, shadow ball for 120 damage, and then that unique fighting ghost typing. So double resisting ghost and normal type moves and bug type moves is huge. And then there's again, if you see a fairy, you see a fairy, but there's some flyers you need to watch out for, but then like you're weak to ghost, but you also have a ghost move, so you can hit super effective against them. And then you're weak to psychic, you have ghost and dark moves, so you can hit super effective multiple times against them. So that's what kind of makes Annihilape so strong. And that's why you're going to see that. And then Gligar, right? A flyer, over 2000 stat product, with the wing attack buff, plus a flyer that actually has access to a very high, again, this is a shadow, which is a lot of people like to use, high dig ground move for the steals, which normally walls flyers is super, super strong. So that's why you're going to see a lot of the same Pokemon. But let's look at some of the teams. And speaking about the ones that this is like I call it an OG team almost. I've got a couple OG teams living in the past year. Defense Deoxys, Sableye, Dugong. I think each of these Pokemon are still pretty strong in their own. They're all kind of bulky. Defense Deoxys on the lead is very strong, where you can just like counter and Psycho Boost and bail. Sableye and Dugong, I think both still play great safe swaps in this meta. All right, Dugong gives you great access to great answer to like Gligar and the flyers. And then say if you're weak to fighting, Sableye gonna just light up Annihilape because you will hit super effective with the Shadow Claws. So that's the first team there. Second team is a team that I stole, that someone not stole, I used it. I showcased it, and then I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Let me try it out here. It's Gligar, Lantern, Charge Bug. So double electric in the back, but you're using Lantern as a water gun Pokemon. So again, it's interesting because Charge Bug is the best flyer in this meta. So it can deal with, Charge Bug is best electric in this meta, so it can deal with a lot of flyers, except it can't deal with Gligar. So now you have a water gun Lantern to deal with the Gligar in the back there. So they kind of cover the weaknesses, and then you're double weak to ground in the back, and then Gligar is a flying ground will deal with that. So I like the concept of it. I did decently, I showcased a team that did very well with it. I did decently well with it. So I think we're trying. It is a little, again, depending on what you see in the back with ground Pokemon, it could be a little tricky, but you can work around it. So this is the team that I ran 400 ELO with from like 2100 to veteran. Dugong, Sableye, Clodsire. Not surprising that it's got the same 2 core from the first team. Again, I do think that Dugong and Sableye are very good in this meta. And I put in Clodsire as the third. So I think Clodsire has decent play in this meta because you're tanky, you got Earthquake, you're tanky. You're poison, so you resist fighting. You got the Earthquake as a hard-hitting ground move for steals. And you have coverage with Stone Edge for flyers. So you kind of have a bit of everything that you need here, which is why I did that with the Pokemon there. this is truly the OG core. Swampert, Umbreon, Sableye. Wow. Swampert, Umbreon, Skarmory. This Skarmory, Swampert was the OG core. You can replace Whiscash or Quagsire at this point for Swampert. And then Umbreon is your safe swap. Basically, Swampert's only weak to grass. Skarmory's double resist grass. Skarmory's weak to electric. Swampert will resist electric. Umbreon is your safe swap. It's a very straightforward balanced team. I much prefer balanced teams, but we got some ABB style teams coming up here as well. Chargebug, Gligar, and Polion. So this is kind of a balanced team, but so Gligar is the best. Gligar or Skarmory, choose one or two, are your best flyers in this meta. Chargebug is your best electric in this meta, and Empoleon is one of your best steals in this meta. It's not the best water, but it's one of the best steals in this meta. So put them all together, and not surprising that it makes a strong team. And that was my concept. I'm just like, okay, give me a strong flyer. So you got two answers for Annihilate. You got everything can kind of hit steals. Ground Pokemon, you got flyer and water for ground. So like you have a bit of everything on this team, and it's not surprising just putting the best Pokemon in the league together that it works. And this is exactly the same sort of concept. Like, unfortunately, if you have like a basic, as long as you're not like triple weak to something, actually you can get away with triple weak to something if it's not like relevant, but if you have stuff that kind of covers each other's weaknesses, just go in like the 3 strongest Pokemon for their typings and put them together, works. And this is another example. Chargebug as the best electric type, and Bug if you want to argue that too. Azumarill as the best fairy type, and Annihilate as the best fighter. Right? Put them all together. You have a little answer for everything. You got your triple resist fighters, right? Bug resist fighting, fairy resist fighting, ghost resist fighting. So you have like 3 answers to resist fighting. So off the bat, that's great. Annihilate can be weak to flyers, but that's why you have Azumarill with Ice Beam and Chargebug there. So like Gligar in the lead would be a little tough. I think you just have to play out that matchup with Chargebug. But outside of that, Chargebug will deal with any other flyer, like Mantine and Skarmory and stuff like that. Azumarill is just super, super bulky, and Annihilate will deal with the steals. So you just got, again, just like honestly, just go to like PVPOKE and sort by, you can like just type in fairy or type in fighting or type in whatever, and it'll give you like the top, it'll just eliminate everything else except for those typing Pokemon, those Pokemon with those typings. And you can just like look at the first 3, do I have any of these? And then just like pick one and then just do it for like 3 different typings. Like just know the strong typings, right? So you got like flyer, water, steel. Like these are all pretty strong typings in the open Great League right now. Like something like grass is not strong, unfortunately. Like electric, outside of Chargebug, there's not many electric Pokemon I want to use besides Chargebug. So you need to like be smart about it. But it's not, honestly, it's not the worst way to go if you're like really stuck for teams. Okay, Mantine, Goodra, Vigoroth. Mantine with the wing attack and the bulk is like a very, very strong Pokemon in the Great League. Weak to electric, so you have Goodra as a dragon that will resist the electric. And then Vigoroth. Here's the thing, Vigoroth is like an incredible safe swap and one of the most confident you can use until Annihilate showed up. And until you like got Rock Slide, because Rock Slide improved Vigoroth substantially, except against Annihilate, where Annihilate would just wall every single move. So and with Annihilates everywhere in the Great League, I'm less confident using Vigoroth as a safe swap. So on this team, I'm still probably using Goodra as a safe swap. And then Mantine and Goodra have bulk. Vigoroth is very spammy with the counter body slam. So again, the team still works, but just be aware of a safe swap there. This is a team. This is a team that someone hit legend with multiple seasons in a row. They said that they've hit legend with this team. So I'm like, okay, let's showcase it. And I get it. I get the potential for these Pokemon to be overpowered at times. Because like, again, this one's running Water Gun Lantern, but Lantern is super, super strong. Always bulky. There was even a debate back in the day, Water Gun versus Spark, and you can still run both. It's still just a super strong Pokemon. And again, Vigoroth can be very tricky if you don't have like an Annihilate as like a super hard counter. Like the spamminess of those body slams and rock slides can really add up in any neutral matchup. Like I think the one that I know the most having played it is if you have a Shadow Gligar Depending on the IVs, Vigoroth just with counter and body slams can take you out in 2 body slams. And Vigoroth wins CMP, so it's going to beat a flyer, right? So it's just a very tricky Pokemon to go against if you don't have like a hard answer to it. And then if you don't want to use a Azumarill, which I said is the best fairy in this meta, the best fairy, Charmer fairy in this meta is Wigglytuff. So you got a Charm user. Bulky has that half normal typing as well. And then the Icy Wind, it's so funny because it has Disarming Voice and Icy Wind, but even 90% of times if Icy Wind is resisted, they still throw Icy Wind just because lowering your opponent's attack and then just out charming them is a very good strategy. So you have like kind of like 3 Pokemon which have like okay fast move, damage and counter and charm and water gun, and then Spamminess and Vigoroth and Bulk and Lantern and kind of like okay Bulk and Wiggly. And so I get why the team works. I don't love using Charmers. And the last one, Gligar, Dugong, and Empoleon. This is an ABB style team. Double weak to Electric and Fighting in the back. I think I'm showcasing this team it's in the next couple days. So safe swap is Dugong on this team. Try and draw out a Fighter like Annihilate. Try to draw out an Electric like Charge-a-Bug. Gligar will beat them, and then your Empoleon roams free. So an ABB style team. That is it. So you'll see top Ultra League teams this afternoon. I've got some videos banked with longer hair. I'm away from like Wednesday through Sunday, so I've shot a bunch of them. So some of them with long hair, some of them with short hair. But you'll see a mix of Great League and Ultra League. And the Ultra League you'll see was mine that ran me from 2,500 to 2,850, which helped me set up my Legend Run during Fossil Cup, which was, you can see that video on Tuesday if you care about that at this point. For me hitting Legend for my 17th time in 18 seasons after missing last time for the first time in 17 straight seasons. That is it. Stay tuned for Ultra League teams this afternoon. Good luck. If you want to submit your Legend Run or like close to Legend Run or strong teams, again, I've been showcasing just all the teams, not all the teams, but I'm trying to showcase as many teams that are submitting in the link below. And it's been a mixture of like, I'm at 3,300 and I'm versus like, I'm at 2,100. So the gameplay is very, very different. But I think with 2 weeks left in the season, if I'm probably looking for veteran minimum, veteran to expert and above at this point, because we want to showcase some very, very strong teams to get people to Legend in the last 2 weeks. So if you have some strong teams and you're pretty high up there, please send them my way. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.